Morning, students. Welcome to a nice morning session of business correspondence and reporting. My name is Jyoti Singhal, and we are doing the subject article writing, which is part 2. We're continuing it from day before yesterday. So I'm eagerly waiting for all of you to join. Please join quickly, and we'll soon start the interesting session. I hope everything is clear from the last class. Nothing is a concern. Whatever are your doubts, please put in your queries. Feel free to discuss and quickly share your doubts so that we can start the session today as soon as possible. Okay, let me see. I'm starting to get some nice queries. Good morning, Ritu. Nice. So nice to see nice, smiley faces early morning. Nice. You all are sitting like well dressed and ready for the class, or you all are sitting in the bed with your blankets and just listening to me. Please don't do that. Sit attentive. Be very sure that you're listening each and every line and you're practicing each and every line. Good morning, Lovepreet and Tanmeet. Good morning, Ritu, Rajas, Ananya. Can we write writer's name or our name below in the title in exam? Rajas, which question are you referring to? Where do you have to write the name? Is it a report writing question? Is it a newspaper report? Is it minutes of the meeting? Is it a letter? Where are you writing the name? Can you please tell me? Good morning, Madhvi and Ashutosh. So we have Bharat, Arpi, Rabish, Swati, Ankita, Manish, Tamanna, Harshita, Anushka, Kevin, Pramod, Ayushi, Mehak, Dimple, Surya, Richa, Shenlang, Sarvesh, and Aisha. Very, very good morning, all of you. It's so nice. You just made my day. I'm seeing the same attendance. I'm seeing the same names. It makes me feel even more good that, yes, you guys are coming to class. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, Kevin is just being clear. I'm sitting on a chair. He's not sitting on the bed and he's not lazing around. Good. I hope the others are also sitting straight and on a chair and you're not just lazing around. Okay, so let's start. Now, the session is all about article writing, which is the second part of what we did last class. Can I quickly take you through the last class, or are you sure you're done with everything so I can take it forward from today? Okay, quickly tell me tell me 3 important news which you know about today morning. Quickly. Let me see how many of you have read the newspaper. Now, don't say we don't get newspapers. Don't give me such silly excuses. Think of a better excuse. Good morning, Bhumi. Okay, Rajas, see what happens is when you're doing an article, so mostly in the question they'll tell you what is your name. So if they say you are Raj Kumar, you need to write that name. If you are Shah Rukh Khan, you need to write that name. So it depends. If the question doesn't have the name given, then you can write your name. Okay. Yes, Ashutosh, very good. Rishabh Pant met with an accident. That's quite unfortunate. His car collided with a divider, I think. So that's a sad story. Good, Ashutosh. What about the others? You should be reading newspapers every day. If you want to be a smart CA, if you want to be a holistic CA, one who's just not related to accounts and audits and tax, you need to be smart enough to address the audience. You need to be personality wise, you need to be charming enough to sway the audience with your speech and your seminar, and you're addressing an audience where people are just listening to you continuously. You have to know the current affairs because that's how you can link, right? So whenever you are talking of a story, if you can link it to current affairs, whatever is happening in Malaysia, what's happening in Nepal, what's happening in US politics, what's happening about Brexit, that's where you actually show that, yes, whatever I'm reading, I'm implementing also. Okay. Okay. Yes, Prime Minister Modi's mother passed away. That's quite an unfortunate event. See, I mean, it's quite ironic that we're getting only unfortunate events. So Rishabh Pant's accident and Prime Minister Modi's mother incident, both of them are quite unfortunate events. Russia's oil export ban may bolster India crude imports. Very good, RP. That's a great news. Pele is no more. Meghna, this happened, I think, day before yesterday when I had a 28th December class. Pele died that day, right? Okay, the Dutch tax fraudulent has been arrested. Very good, Aisha. Great. Yes, she was 100 years of age. No good news, like everybody's giving me sad news. Okay, so at least, okay, something about Uzbekistan. 15 children died due to cough. Yes, the cough syrup which was made in Noida, 15 children have died due to it. Yes, and the probe has started. So the Indian government is quite taking a probe about what exactly went wrong. Good. Okay, good. So I'm happy. I'm quite impressed that you all are keeping track of what's happening around you, because it's just not about, attending a BCR class. It's more about knowing everything about things happening around you. So today, if I ask you to write an article on, let's say, the cough syrup story, if you have some knowledge, you will be able to write it. And every time you cannot refer to the internet, you will not have internet access every time. So the request is read a good newspaper every day. Last time, remember, we were discussing newspapers. So read a good newspaper every day. Make sure you read relevant news. You are not reading news which might not be very helpful at this point of time. And be an avid reader. You should have that greed for knowledge. You should be reading science and maybe geography and environment and mathematics and sociology and anthropology. That brings a very big, wide knowledge base in your mind. And with that, you can boast about that knowledge, and then you can address the audience, because when you're speaking, that confidence should reflect. Because some of you were asking, I'm unable to speak good English, I'm unable to stand in front of a crowd. All that is only with practice. Okay, guys? Chalo, a lot of gyan early morning. I should not be giving you so much gyan, I think. Let's start. Date sheet has been released for class 10th and 12th boards, which is, I think, around 15th February. 10th boards are starting. Okay, Jigyashu. So the temperature is 7 degrees in Bihar. Is that news? I mean, you stay in Bihar, so maybe you are aware, but what about other cities? So maybe there is a cold wave alert, which the meteorological department has passed for north of India, all the states in north of India. So probably the 1st of January and the 2nd of January are going to be quite cold. Okay, good morning, Mohammed. Late to join. Okay, IIT Gandhinagar creates an antiviral drug. Very good. Okay, so let's begin with finally what our discussion for today is about article writing. So let me start with the day. Can you all please tell me? Yes, is the screen visible? Everything okay? Is it clear enough? America is freezing. Oh my God, yes. Yes, very good, Manish. It's cold and cold. Can you give me an adjective for like really, really cold? What could be a good adjective for like really, really cold? Like Manish is saying, it's minus 28 degrees in the Siachen Glacier. Have you ever been to the Siachen Glacier, by the way? Please make sure you're well equipped. You're wearing like jackets and coats and, caps and boots and gloves and all that stuff. Okay, so let's start. Yes, visible. Fine. Thank you so much, Surya, Tanmeet, Shweta, Ruchika, Kevin, and Aryan and Dimple. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dimple. The wide knowledge comes only when you are, aware of all things around you. So in that case only, you can start having a wide knowledge. That's why I keep saying language is something which you get to learn only when you start reading. That's the key word behind it. And don't limit yourself to reading only certain topics. Like if you are a CA aspirant, you're not supposed to read only what your subject asks you to. Even if you're reading beyond that, even if you're reading something which is history, even if you're reading something which is geography, it doesn't matter, because end of the day, knowledge never goes waste. Okay, fine. So let's start with the day. Thank you so much for all the queries. Freezing can be used. Okay, very good. Tesla stock dropped by 70%. Very good, Jigyashu. Okay, so let's move on. Fine. So we begin with the example. The first is the example because last time many people were saying, ma'am, please show us an example. So that's what I'm doing. Now for the example, this is just like a template and I've tried to fill in all the important points. So for example, if you say, write an article on the water shortage problems faced by the residents of a particular colony. So this is a very localized news. You understand what is localized? It talks about a very smaller area. You don't have to talk about a big city issue. It's not an issue which New Delhi is facing. It's not an issue which maybe India is facing. It's not an issue which North India is facing. This is called a localized issue. So when you have a question like this is typically going to be a 4 to 5 mark question. You can check the mock papers and you will get to know the weightage of every question. I'm repeating myself. Please do the mock papers because without practicing the mock papers, you will not understand what is the exam pattern. So if you really want to be confident about knowing the pattern and getting familiar with it, please attempt MTPs and RTPs. RTPs are revision test papers and MTPs are mock test papers. Okay, so the question here says water shortage. Now, if you get a question like this, and if the word limit is not mentioned, assume it to be 100 to 150 words, which is typically 10 lines. A standard handwriting would have 10 words in a line. So straight away 10 lines or 12 lines, not more than that. Don't count the lines. And this is just a tentative, this is just an approximation which we make when we are reading the answers. So how do you start with a topic on water shortage in a particular area? So you don't have to be very generalized. Somebody was asking me if I can use quotations. In this, you cannot use quotations because this is just about a particular area. So the first thing which you have to do is every article should have a title. So please give it a title. Okay. The title should be catchy enough. Like, the moment I see Pele dead, oh my God, what happened? I want to read it. Rishabh Pant meets an accident. Oh my God, what has happened? So titles should be so exciting and so gripping that, the moment you read a title, you should be forced to read it. That kind of a feeling should come. Okay. Practice makes a man perfect. Okay, Ritu, very good. That's a good one. So we start with the title. That's the first thing. After that, if you want, you may just write your name. If it's a newspaper article, we expect you to write your name. If it's generally an article which is probably being published in a magazine or a journal or not even being published, it's just a question article, you don't have to write your name. Okay. Next thing is start with a generalized statement, maybe a quote on the water resources. Now, this is a little not sure statement because we generally ask students to write quotations when the issue is addressing a larger audience. So if I say the whole of New Delhi is facing water shortage or the whole of North India is facing weather conditions like severe weather conditions, then you may start with a quote. If it's about XYZ colony and areas and nagars, then you don't have to write a quotation. Okay. So it all depends on the way you present your answer. There is no hard and fast rule, but yes, the format should be followed with the title and the content. Then comes the water crisis in the colony. So you're going to talk about the main problem, which is the water crisis. Why did it happen? Where did it happen? Which area is this? What is the population? All that related knowledge about the water problem. Finally, you try and come out with a cause. Why do you think the problem happened? So always remember, whenever there is a problem you are discussing, the cause of the problem, one, has to be mentioned. The solution to the problem has to be mentioned by you because you are the author. You are the writer. So whenever you are writing something which is a problem, don't forget to mention the solution also. That's a standard way of taking part in a presentation also. Okay, it's very easy. Everybody sits and keeps saying, okay, ye nahi hai, wo nahi hai, aisa hai, waisa hai. Listing problems is probably the easiest something a human can do. But finding solutions is something which you really, really have to work hard on. And that's where your actual knowledge gets tested. So if you are a smart person, if you have the right sharpness in your mind, if you are quite a long-term visionary, then you will always find a solution to every problem. Okay. Water storage problem, it's shortage, first of all, Ritu. Water shortage problem in XYZ colony is not a good title because that's something which is part of the question. Okay. So you have to write a title which is probably I'll tell you like water, water everywhere, not a drop to drink, which is a famous poem, which is about somebody who is stuck in the sea. There is water everywhere, but sea water is salty. So that person cannot even drink water and he's literally dying for water to get into his mouth. Okay, water is life, don't waste it. Fine. Struggle for water. Yes, Radhesham. That's Radhesham Tiwari. That's the name, right? Okay. But why do I need the quote of the day, Jigyashu? Let's stick to the topic. No, please. Every drop matters. Yes, very good. Meghna, every drop counts. Every drop matters. This is what is a good title. And last of all, in this particular article, you're giving the effects and the suggestive measures. So if your article has all these 3, 4 things, you're straight away getting good marks. Okay. Now let me tell you, see, everybody keeps saying English mein marks nahi milte hain, we get less marks, marks get deducted. Because it's your presentation. It's not just the idea everybody has. Hundreds of people go to Shark Tank and come with ideas, but somebody who can present well, pitch well, sell your product well, face the audience well, answer all the questions, relate to the masses, know your product, know your business, then you are a sharp person. Idea, so everybody sits and has. What is a big deal? I have 10 ideas right now in my mind running, but unless I execute them, unless I make money out of them, unless I bring them out for charity and I let them reach the masses, my ideas are of no use. Okay. Kevin, I think a hell baggage is becoming a very strong usage. It's Tisha Tiwari. Okay, your name is coming as Radhe Sham, so I thought, okay, Tisha Tiwari. Okay. XYZ drying up. Huh, that is a good thing, Aisha. You can name the city and the colony, sorry, and you can say drying up. That's a good one. Water is most important for human beings. Well, that's like a statement, Ayushi. I want a title. A title should be less number of words. You can miss out on the articles, you can miss out on the conjunctions, but it should be more like a phrase. And then in the end, you can also put a exclamation mark. Okay. What else is there? Struggle for water is good, Tisha. That's fine. Water is life. Don't waste it. Lovepreet, this is more like a suggestive measure. Okay, you don't have to take this as a title. This is more like a suggestive measure. Water is essential. Again, Manisha, we are giving like, this looks like more like Gyan. This looks like an article which is being published in a magazine where you're talking about water conservation. But here I'm writing out a specific issue being faced by some colony members. Okay. I don't know how to write letter essay, how to improve. Mithilesh, isn't this like a little abrupt question in the middle of article writing? You're saying, I don't know how to write letters and essays. No, Shweta, that's not correct because it might be a pipe leakage. It might be that over exploitation of water has happened in that colony. I don't know the reasons, right? So simply saying a careless government, nobody will read it. It's quite a derogatory title then. It doesn't sound good. It's actually very negative. So that's not a good choice, but good, at least you're attempting it. Okay, Nabeen says life without water. But is this a title? Because I don't know if their life is going to be without water. It's maybe a crisis they are facing. You understand problems? So, problem is basically crisis. Creator's life is water. No, Ritu, not good. Life without water, not good. Value of water, not good. Water shortage, a killer to core. Okay, Kevin, you are giving me like, those very strong debating kind of topics. So I really need to think whether this is apt for an article or not. Water shortage, shortage of necessity. What does this mean? Yash, I did not get it. Manish, again, hazards. Hazards is something which is very dangerous. Like if you go near a chemical compound, chemical factory where, acids are made or maybe crackers are made. Sorry, there we use the word hazards, not in this case. No water in the colony, okay. Okay, now let me tell you, let me clarify this. See, what you guys are telling me is, water is life, life is water, water is valuable, water is diamond, diamond is gold. You all have come to that track. Are you all standing outside a jeweler's shop or something? Everybody is trying to portray how precious water is. So let me tell you one thing, guys. The question is asking you to discuss the water shortage problems faced by a particular colony. Okay, see. Hmm. Just a second. I'll just annotate it and I'll show it more. See, this part is very important. Residents of XYZ colony, the problem is water shortage. You get it? This does not mean that water is precious, water is this, water is that. No. This is not an essay on water conservation. We are not writing to the United Nations. If it is an essay, if it is an essay, only then you will write such general topics. Don't wait, water. Life is precious, water is diamond, water is gold, water scarcity, etc. Your article is simply about some small colony in New Delhi and you're just reporting it. That's it. So please use words which are apt for the title, which are relevant for that particular colony. Otherwise, though, it's not of any use. Okay? Uh, Ayushi, pure water it's incomplete. Drop of water. No, Jigyashu, sorry. Water, how matter, no way to scatter. Is that poetry, Kevin? Turning of XYZ into a desert. Water crisis faced. Keep it simple. Water crisis faced by XYZ colony. That's it. Now, Dimple, what you have written is okay, but do I really know that XYZ colony has turned into a desert? Has it become that? Because it says water shortage problems. There is less water, but not like no water. Understand the question, guys. It says there is a crisis, there is a problem, there is a shortage. It's not like no water available. That's not there. Okay. Aditya, you can use bullets. That let there not be more than 5 bullets. Okay. Uh, Pure water in the world is. You all really have to work on titles. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, but I'm not getting everybody to write a good title because you need some understanding. If you're writing titles which are very generalized, then you're not attempting the question as such. You are not talking about the question. You are basically talking about general aspects of water shortage, which becomes a larger than colony issue. In this case, it is a colony issue only. Okay? Okay, so let's move on. I'll try and show you another example. Maybe that makes things clear. I think a lot of water shortage has happened. So let's move on to some water. Okay, the next example. Okay, can you all see the example, please? Can I write mayor died? Mohammed, where do you want to write mayor died? We are not discussing a topic on mayor. So where is this coming from? Please explain. XYZ system, water systems in XYZ colony. XYZ about to go waterless. Water they need for all living, water scarcity. No, Ankit, not good. Let's practice it once more because I think you are not getting the exact thing for the water shortage thing. Right now, what I'm focusing on is first thing, give it a title. So the title has to relate to the question given. Don't go beyond that. Okay? Okay, this says write an article on the impact of technology with special emphasis on machine learning. So I'm giving you 1 minute. Please go through the topics, the ones which are listed in green, and then tell me what have you not understood. And if I give you these hints, will you be able to form an article out of it? Quickly tell me. देखो, it's not easy. ऐसा नहीं है आपको टॉपिक मिलेगा and then you will get all the ideas in your mind. ऐसा नहीं होता है. You have to spend time. You actually have to sit and think. So there needs to be some time for thinking. Now, for example, this question, they have given you 500 words. 500 words is quite a lot. It's as good as an essay, though I'm not naming it an essay. So I need paragraphs. I need innovative writing skills. I need some good vocabulary. I want people to read my article again and again. I need it to be informative because that's the question. The impact of technology. So impact of technology means if I don't even know what technology, what is machine learning, what is artificial intelligence, what will I write? Isn't it? So you have to be very smart to understand that topics can be anything. You have to raise the bar and read a lot. If you keep reading only one kind of stuff, like there are some children, in school, they read only Harry Potter. If you read only Harry Potter, what happens is you will only be limited to the fantasy genre, the fantasy fiction. But what about autobiographies? What about science fiction? What about medical fiction? What about books on geography? Okay, that's the reason why I'm telling you that. I have sent a title. Okay, Tisha, let me see. Okay, machine learning, a necessity of modern life. Good, very good, Tisha. This is a good one. Pros and cons of AI ML. Okay, Aditya, fine. Does it ask you pros and cons? Is it asking you to tell me the pros and cons, or is it asking you to tell me the impact of technology with emphasis on ML? Ha, Harshita, that's okay. The new era born. Okay, Aisha, that is a good one. Very good topic. Title, sorry. Police Sai Charan. Where do you belong to Police Sai Charan? SRO. You're somewhere in the south. See, this is not a title, Sai Charan. Waste of water leads to scarcity of water. Is this a title? You tell me. I will never read an article which has a title like this. You have to make it more gripping and catchy. You can remove the conjunctions and prepositions. Explain the third point. Okay. Explain how is it different from AI. So if you have some bit of knowledge regarding machine learning, then only you will be able to differentiate between what is ML and what is AI. Okay. How does ML work? It's basically a hint towards giving an answer where you can differentiate between the two. This is not the standard answer. These are just hints given. Please remember what I'm showing on screen is just a way of attempting a question on a topic like this. You don't have to stick to the topics. You might differ, but just that it should have kind of these contents. Okay, what are the uses? What are the benefits? How does ML harm? What are the kind of exposure we get? What are the, if this is catering to the Indian markets, then you also can talk about what is the what are the courses available for ML. All this can be put here, of course, because the question says emphasis on ML. Otherwise, technology can be very widespread. Modern era with modern technology, okay. Time to be a digital world, fine. Ruchika, machine learning is our need. That's a very dull topic, I'm not talking about needs and desires. So it's a fast booming technology. Make the title also as smart and booming as that. Importance of machine learning, okay. AI means artificial intelligence, Ravish. Okay, Muhammad has given me some long title. That sounds like a story and on Netflix, Muhammad. What is this? Mayor dies because of water shortage. Do you really think this is relevant enough for a question on article writing for shortage of water? Please, don't make it like so mysterious and full of adventure. Okay, Anushka, yours is good. Baba Sahib, okay, yours is fine. Govind, yours is okay. Okay, Bhumi has sent me a modern world also. That's a nice emoji. Mithilesh, this is not mechanical technology, so just maybe Make sure the words are correct. Okay, now let me go through the points. So, what are the points I have given? First, of course, stands true for all questions on article writing. You have to give me an interesting title. Is that much clear? Please don't forget, last time I've seen many students attempted the paper without giving the title. We generally are suggested to deduct marks if title is not there. Okay. Second point, according to me, is like define what is machine learning, because there might be a new reader who's not aware about the concept. So for that reason, I'm saying you should also be learning. You should also be reading and knowing about it. Explain how is it different from AI, which I just now told you is artificial intelligence. Tanmeet, I think I missed yours. I haven't read. Just give me a second. I'll go through it again. Uh, Tech life, a new road to life. Isn't it life repetition then, Tanmeet? Use the word life once. Ritu says, ma'am, technological world. Okay. Ma'am, comma, technological world. No. A new world of technology. Fine. The future is AI. Okay. A new face of the world with ML. Okay. No. Are we talking about women empowerment here? Richa, I think you got it wrong. Please see the question again. Yes, the title can be in a question form, Dimple. That's not a problem. In fact, we suggest that you write titles which are in phrases and questions. It's always good to do that. That is possible. Okay. Tisha has come out with a nice one. Machine learning, a way to befriend AI. Very good. Okay, so I've seen most of the answers. Keep sending them. Let's see. Swati, it cannot be like this straightforward. Sorry. Machine, the future of coming. The future coming. Okay, Ankit. So let's come back to the points now. So have you all read the first two? Explain the difference. Still explain the difference. Third is discuss how this works. So what is the working style? What exactly does machine learning mean and how does it work? Then, of course, the uses, the types, and last of all is the technological impact. See, if you see, this is quite a detailed subject. That's why I've given you 500 words, which, like I said, is almost close to an essay word limit. But you just have to make sure that there are paragraphs. Don't just give me one block of written words in some order. You need to change paragraphs. After about every 50 to 60 words, please make sure you're changing paragraphs. Use a lot of punctuation marks. That adds on to the beauty of language. You've done a lot of, poetic devices in school. So you just take a comparison, use a simile to the comparison, use a metaphor to do the comparison. Something which shows that language has been presented beautifully. Okay. How we are in the modern era with ML. Okay. I'm really happy you all are trying. Very good job. I appreciate all the answers. Thanks a lot, everybody, that you all have been trying. Because unless you show me your answers, I will not be able to check them. I will not be able to tell you whether you are on the right track. ML is a part of AI. Are you asking or are you telling, or is this the title, Manish? I didn't get it. So, any concerns regarding the hints given on the screen? Otherwise, I move ahead with the next example. Just look at the example and quickly tell me. Those of you who have sent one title, please don't keep sending many because it gets difficult for me to keep checking all the time. I might have missed them while scrolling. Google dataset search. Simranjeet, how is this related to this question specifically? Mohammed, what is this? You nothing one, please. I'm sorry, I'm not understanding these short form versions of your answers. Please help me with that. Huh. Okay, Aryan. Okay, I assume you all are clear with the first example and the second example and how to write. The most important is to fill in. If you are able to fill in good content, then I'm sure you will all be getting good marks. The only problem is when you sit down to write, I don't see a lot of good ideas coming in your mind. Okay? Okay. Now I'm going to share one example of what is cryptocurrency. Okay, without my telling you, I'll not share my screen. You guys tell me, what is cryptocurrency? How does it work? Have you heard of blockchain? Have you heard of these mini blocks? They get connected and they Okay, I'll not tell you. You heard of uh, Nakashi Nakamoto? Wait, I don't even remember the name. Quickly tell me what is cryptocurrency. I'll share my screen when I start getting answers. Heard, okay. Python CHTML. How is this related to the topic, Bharat? Python is with a Y, not with an I. Please check your spellings. Maybe that's a typo error, but digital money. Okay, very good, Mithilesh. Very good, Bhumi. What else about it? It's Nakamoto, not Nakamoti. Okay, Bharat, very good. Anything else? Okay, very good. Created by coding, very good. Satoshi Nakamoto is the person who actually created cryptocurrency. Okay, digital currency, it's digit money, fine. Crypto is a digital currency used for trading, very good. It's virtual currency, very good. Crying currency. Why, Kevin? Why is it crying currency? Is that a metaphor? Very good, Tisha. Digital money. Yes, Bitcoin is an example. Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these are examples of crypto. Yes, the most important aspect about crypto is it's digital currency and it's decentralized. So there is no centralized control on the currency. It's just not like RBI governing it. That doesn't happen. Ritu, yes, though. The founder is Satoshi. Okay, not Santoshi. It was a metaphor. Okay. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, good. So you guys have good knowledge about cryptocurrency. I'm happy. So I'm now going to share my article. Okay. Please go through it once. It's a decentralized digital money. So in just one line, I'm basically telling you everything about what it is. I've told you it's decentralized. I've told you it's digital. Two things coming together. Then how does it work? It is based on blockchain technology secured by cryptography. Then, of course, you'll talk about how exactly it works. So you need to be very smart when you write an article, that you need to be able to do this, in one line, you're telling me three different things about the topic. That's the smartness of language. I don't need three different lines to tell me three different aspects about cryptocurrency. Just in one line, I've been able to share it. So I've written decentralized, I've written digital, and I've also written that it's based on blockchain technology. Okay? Okay, please read it then. So it straight away says, if you see, it says you need to be, sorry. Okay. You need to be knowing three terminologies: blockchain, decentralization, and crypto. If you know these three, then I think you are all set to understand what is cryptocurrency, and that's what it says. Fine? Got it? Okay, so quickly give it a read. This is just for a reference, okay? I'm just trying to tell you that these are some good articles and you can base your ideas and your thoughts on such writing. So if you read, you'll actually get to know what exactly is the style of presentation, which information comes first, which information should be placed last, how is the conclusion given, because this is not like a story where I'm concluding and hence the king and the queen lived happily ever after. It's not like that, right? You can conclude it in a certain coherent way, as if the conclusion is just following the content naturally. That's the way you have to actually write. Okay. Crypto is a digital form. Many, yes. Business coins, US dollars, very good. Transparency, smart contact. Okay, Muhammad, got it. Okay, Mithilesh, yes, that's good news. Indian government has launched digital money. Uh, I didn't understand your comment, Aisha. It's not based what the central bank has, as in this is not similar to what the central banks do. That's what you meant? Okay. Have you all read it or you're still reading? So this is quite a important topic, and I would really appreciate if all of you can read something on this topic, because when we make questions, we always keep in mind that whatever the student writes should be very importantly relevant. It should be consistent to the style of writing. The format should be as given in the textbooks, the ICI study material, and very importantly, things should be in the word limit. Okay? Okay, if you've finished, read. Okay, thanks, Tisha. You've read. What about the others? Please read it. Any questions? Even if you don't understand one or two words, it's perfectly okay because this is just a reference article. I think only Tisha has read it till now. What about the others? Others are feeling cold. Okay, Dimple, Kevin, Aryan, very good. Fast readers. Have you ever noted your reading speed? You know how you calculate a reading speed, which is called WPM. It's not KMPHS, it's WPM, which is words per minute. So you are asked to count the number of words, which is usually given. If you're doing a Word document, the number of words come. Words divided by the number of minutes you take gives your words per minute, which is your reading speed. And a good reading speed technically is around 400 to 450 words per minute. That's a very good reading speed. That's like the ideal speed. You are at 200, 250, then it's fine. If you're below that, you really need to work hard, because when you're doing a reading comprehension, you have a lot of content, plus you have a lot of questions to answer following that. And even otherwise, for your other subjects also, if you're doing a paper on tax, direct tax, indirect tax, then also you have to be very sure that you have a good reading speed. Okay, so can I change the slides then, please? Okay, this is another article on attack on Pearl Harbor. I'm sorry, the title by mistake I put it below. This is actually the heading. So just change it, please. Okay, quickly read this. This is news information. What was the Pearl Harbor incident? Can anybody tell me before reading, of course? So see how exactly this article is different from the last one. The last one was on a topic. It was a concept-based article. This time it is an article which is a newspaper article. Okay, that as well can be a newspaper article, but that was more about information. This is more about an incident which happened. Okay. Mithilesh, centralized money means money which is being controlled by one particular organization. So in this case, it's the government, which is, in our case, of course, it's the central government which controls. So you have the RBIs and the RBI regulations which actually manage the currency up and down. Decentralizes, there is no control. Anybody can have any amount. So it's like no MRP. Anything can be anything. That's decentralized. Okay. There is no one controlling of the currency. Orchestrated means planned. Okay. Yes, the Japanese army attacked the US naval base at Pearl Harbor. Very good. Good attempt, Manish. Yes, this was also one of the reasons why the World War was quite an important aspect. Okay, so this is not the complete article. Please wait. This is the completion. I'm sorry. That was just first part of it. That's why I've written continued in the next. Deliberately means on purpose. See, I'm very happy. I'm quite amused and happy that all of you are asking me word meanings, because if you let go of a word meaning, what happens is you'll say, okay, nahi aaya samajh, theek hai, kya farak padta hai, let's move on. That should not be the case. The moment you see a word which you don't know, please refer to a dictionary, ask somebody around you, ask your seniors, ask your parents, ask people who you think are good at vocabulary, and then use that word in your language. That's the first way you can improve your vocabulary. Okay? Okay. Bharat has sent an atom bomb also. Thank you, Bharat. I hope you're not blasting me with that American attack on Japan with atom bomb. Descriptive article. Very good, Tanvi. This is a descriptive article because it's kind of describing a situation. Like last time we did narrative articles, expository articles, descriptive articles. This is a descriptive article. Tactical success is success which comes after a lot of tactics, like a lot of strategies, a lot of planning. That is tactical success. Okay? Got it? Everybody? Good. So when do I see all of you using these things, these good words? When do I see you all using good vocabulary? Anything else which is a problem, please feel free to ask. Hmm. Sunk. Lovepreet, sunk is the past tense of sink. Yes, Shweta. Mithilesh, this is all about the Pearl Harbor incident. So, what happened as a result of the attack? What was the attack, first of all? How did it actually aggravate the World War? All this is explained in the article. It has names of people, it has Japan involvement, it has US involvement, it talks about the atom, it talks about the incident, it talks about how was the destruction planned at Pearl Harbor, which is a harbor where you have ships. Pearl Harbor is the name of the harbor. Unscathed is something which is unharmed, unhurt. So this, suppose I say the soldier fought a very tough battle, but he came out unscathed. Unscathed means nobody could touch him, nobody could destroy him, nobody could even hurt him. Okay, Ritu? Kevin, unscathed Sarvesh, I've told you, Bhumi, I've told you, Dimple, I've told you. Got it, everybody? So nothing getting disturbed, nothing getting hurt, nothing getting injured. It can be a person, it can be a thing, it can be the dock facilities in this case. Dock, of course, you all know. Dock is where the ships are parked. Mumbai has a lot of docks, these big dockyards, and show a lot of movie shootings also happen in dockyards. Can you tell me two movies, three movies, Bollywood movies, which have been shot with a dockyard or a dock in them? Hampered is to disturb. If I say, is the noise hampering your studies, which means disturbing, causing severe disturbance. Okay. Rather than logistical targets is a target which has been decided with a lot of logistics, with a lot of planning, with a lot of considerations, is called logistical targets. Oh, yes, Sarvesh, that is one of my favorite movies also. Good. It's very nice. One thing I've seen is whenever there is a question on movie and I try to relate it to article writing, I get so many answers as if you're all ready to watch a movie, which is very good. And KGF and Rustam, yes. Holiday, yes. So dockyard is a very important element of any movie which is probably based on, ships and crews, and maybe the villain comes in a big entry on a ship, etc. Yeah, Kerala has docks, okay. Deployed means arranged, implemented, employed kinds. Okay, unscathed, done, Bhumi, with all those thoughtful smileys. She's asking me like this. Okay, what is deployed? What is unscathed? I hope I've answered your questions. Vikram Veda and PS1. Okay, good, Manish. Yes, Aryan, very good. Adani Port is one of the very important ones in India. Agreed. Okay, so now the main question after you have read. So I showed you two examples of some good articles. One was on cryptocurrency, which is an information, but it is on a new concept. So it's kind of explanatory. This is on an incident, which is an incident from the past. So it's like somebody rightly said, this is about descriptive. Okay. Now you see how the words have been used. You see how the sentences have been used. You see how much information has been passed and how much has been retained so that the word limit is adhered to. Got it? This is how a good article should be. Fine. These are some of the very good examples I found in newspapers. Most of them are from newspapers. You can please keep them as a benchmark that whenever I have to write an article, this is the style I have to follow, because information obviously will be different. You cannot write about Pearl Harbor if the question says write about conservation of water. Okay. Sunk is the past tense of sink. Okay. KGF. Okay, fine. So after these two articles, what I want you to do is we'll do some practice questions. This is another article from the Hindu newspaper. This is about Indian goods and exports. I'll share this. We Oh yes, there is a dockyard road station, I know. So then we're going to do steps of article writing so that you are aware about which step to start from, how to start, how to end, how to move. Then some tips for good writing, and finally we'll have some practice questions. Okay, this is my agenda for the second half of the class. Right now I suggest let's take a break because you've already read a lot, you've heard a lot of gyan from my side. So let's take a 5 to 10 minute break. I'll join class back at 12 2. Till then, please come back with your glasses of water, tea, coffee, juice, wherever you are. Sit comfortably. And we'll start from this article from the Hindu newspaper, The Turning Tide of India's Goods Exports. Okay, so a short break right now. See you soon. I hope everything is going on track. I hope everything is clear. You are enjoying article writing. It is one of my favorite subjects. I'm sure it is yours too. Thank you so much. See you after 5 minutes. Okay, students, welcome back to the second half of business correspondence and reporting. We are doing article writing. My name is Jyoti Singhal, and till now, we have done most of the discussions on a good article. I've shared my screen showing you some really well-written articles. You've understood the language, the presentation, everything which you need to know we have done. So henceforth, we're going to take it to the next half, which is the most critical aspect, because here we're going to do some practice questions. And I'm repeating this again and again. Please, please, please refer to the study material. It's very important. Without the study material, you will not be able to understand how does your paper look like, the weightage, the style of questions, the pattern. So please, please attempt MTPs and RTPs. Everything is there on the BOS portal. For any doubts, feel free to ask. For any query, you can send in your queries, but do practice. It's just like, the boards papers. Before the boards papers, you would be practicing some 10 years papers. It's the same like that. Okay, fine. Any doubts, anything you want to ask me till now, you are free to ask. Otherwise, I'll of course continue my discussions. Yes, Mithilesh, see, a good article will definitely require a lot of practice, because, it's not just about writing anything. When somebody asks me to write, what do? I have to think of something really interesting. How can I make the topic interesting? How can I make the title interesting? Then I start thinking on terms like, what is that title which I will be forced to read? Because there are many things which I see in a newspaper, in a magazine, but am I reading them? That's most important. So only if I'm reading them, I feel that yes, it's interesting. So that's the thought I have in my mind, that if I am writing something, why will anybody read it? Isn't it? Okay. So that's how you all have to do it. Okay, Tisha says, okay, so Ayushi, I'd explain the meaning of sunk. Sunk is the past tense of sink. Okay. No other query. Okay. Yeah. Fine. So I'll just continue my screen sharing and then we can take it forward from there. Okay, this is the article where I left. This is a newspaper article which is on India's goods exports. So quickly see, this is this is definitely a factual article. This is a lot of information here. So this is an informative article. You can see it's talking numbers. It's basically numbers. 25%, $422 billion. Then in which year what happened? 11.3% growth, 5.4% moderations. All these numbers and figures actually add value to your article. So if ever you write, like not for the exam, but later, if ever you get to write an article which is asking you to talk about some statistics, please include numbers. Otherwise, your article looks very dull and boring. It's like just like food. You all want to eat food which is spicy and has a lot of herbs and condiments and, like masala food. You don't like bland food. You don't like food which has only salt, which is just like, as if somebody is not well and you're giving him food. Similarly, your article should be like that. You have a lot and lot of spice added to it. To add spice, you can put numbers, you can put vocabulary words, you can put similes, you can put personifications, you can put metaphors, you can put quotations, but no emojis, no LOLs. Okay. If you put all this, your article comes out to be like a perfect dish, which is worth going to a MasterChef competition. That's the good way of writing an article. Okay. So quickly, please read this. I'll check your queries till then. Please read this and tell me if you are understanding these articles. It's very important to understand. Just give me a minute. I'll check the queries. Yes, Tisha, you can write approximations, but you can mention that, this is just an approximation and I'm not sure about the number. So approximately 10%, approximately 5%, even if you write something like this, it's okay. Spicy article, yes. Please read it fast and then tell me. Rebound is to come back. Dimple, in the exam, you will not get specific times. Okay. So you can take 5 minutes for article writing. You can even take 10 minutes for article writing. It is completely your strategy. Nobody will come and say that you have to spend 5 minutes on article, 4 minutes on minutes of a meeting, 3 minutes on pressy, nothing like that. The paper is in front of you. You have the legal part first, and then you have the business correspondence, the English part of it. A and B, sections A and B. This is section B. But the only thing is, your time management should be very good, and you don't have to think about strategies at that time. During the paper, for any exam, let me tell you, this is an advice I'm giving to all of you. For any exam, please don't make strategies during the exam, because you already have a heavy head. You already are busy with so much content in your mind that you will not understand what to do and what not to do. Please have come prepared with all your discussions and your plannings and your strategies, and just apply them in the exam. So I don't know, if you want to use 5 minutes, more than enough. If you want to use 2 minutes, you can do within 2 minutes also. So completely your choice, Dimple. Okay. Read. Okay, Manish, did you understand what is the article about? What does it talk about? The turning tide on India's goods exports. Why do you think the tide has turned? See, what all you are thinking from the point of view is from a student's point of view. Why is it saying deficit eased? Why is it saying the import growth moderated to 5.4%? These are all technical words. These are all jargons. So unless you are reading an Economic Times every day, you will not be able to understand this. Okay. For example, let me see. This says, it is still the third line I'm reading. It is still significantly below the $39 billion average between April and September. Imports growth moderated to 5.4%, with the value of shipments slipping to 59.9. Moderated means what? To a moderate figure of 5.4%. That's the way you have to write it. Because till now, see, they are only talking about the exports. The first line, the second line, the third line are only talking about exports. Suddenly, they are shifting their focus to imports, and hence they say the imports growth moderated. So it's basically a way of saying that to the imports growth achieved a moderate value of 4.4, with the value of shipments slipping to $55.9 billion. Okay, a level last seen in February 22, which was followed by 7 months of import bills of around 60 billion. So they're telling you the history of the import bills, and they're telling you what was the level last year. And then moving on, the easing of some commodity prices may help curb the import bill and deficit to some extent. So if the prices of commodities come down, or their value becomes like easily buyable, that will help control the import bill and the deficit. Curb is to bring down, to stop. So if the deficit can be stopped or removed or controlled, if at all, the easing of some commodity prices, if at all the prices of some commodities are brought down. Got it? Everybody? Even if you don't understand something, don't worry, because this is a very higher level topic I've taken, passage I've taken from the Hindu newspaper. I'm just trying to show you the variety of passages, of articles possible. Uh, it's not the COVID-19 tide. Curb means to stop. Okay, Ritu has read it, Tisha has read it, Bharat has read it, Manish is saying because of global price trends, okay. Exports of India is increasing, okay. Uh, Curb means, I just now told you what curb means. Okay, good. Aryan has read it. So most of you have read it, so you've understood. So my point of showing you these articles is that we are doing some example-based studies where I can relate, I can at least ask you to relate to these articles. And these are, the bestest of articles. So if you can write something on this level, then oh my God, I will just give you a double clapping. Okay? Fine. Now we're going to do some steps of article writing, which is the most important aspect of article writing, because if you don't know steps, then you won't be doing a correct job. You basically won't be able to understand what is the process of writing an article. So this slide is actually going to tell you the process of writing articles. Fine. Okay, so let's start. First of all, select a target audience. Now, why is this important? Because if I don't know who am I writing for, I will not be able to do justice. So I need to be writing for school students. I need to be writing for PhD thesis preparation people. I need to be writing for the corporates. I need to be writing this for the masses. Who am I actually writing it for? That actually decides your style, your techniques, your choice of words, everything is based on that. Second is the purpose of writing. The purpose of writing is basically, why am I writing? Am I writing just because I want to write and there is no other reason? It's like I will do it. I don't care if the others are doing or not. So it's just like I feel like writing, so let me do it. Secondly, it might be for an audience. I want to inform the students. I want to inform the youngsters. I want to tell the youth of the country about so, so, and so. Then that is the purpose. Third comes to collect suitable information related to the topic. Now, very importantly, whenever we want to write on something, we might not be the best person because we don't know much, but I still want to write. So in that case, I have to gather information. I have to become a hunter and a gatherer of the olden times, of the ancient times. I have to become a early man who's going to survive only on fruits and vegetables. So what do? I have to gather information. So I'll read newspapers, I'll go to libraries, I'll meet people, I'll watch documentaries, I'll gather all the relevant information in my head. Then I will organize it because I have a lot of information, but I don't have them in a planned way. I don't have it in a very consistent way. There is no logic, there is no order. Hence, I will organize it. Then, of course, give it a structure. A structure is very important. See, if I have bricks, I have mortar, I have cement, I have paint, I have mud, I have water, but all this bringing together, can I say that yes, I can make a building? No, right? Because items, I have everything. I have maida, I have oil, I have butter, I have cocoa powder, I have baking powder, I have a mold tray, I have eggs, I have milk, I have sugar, everything I have. I'll just put them all together. Does that bring out a good cake? Does that bring out a good plum cake for Christmas? No. That's why what we say is you need to give it a structure. So for you giving a structure, there should be some logic. So first add this, next step add this, third step add this, mix properly, make a batter and then pour. If the logic goes well, the building formed is strong. If the logic fails, the building will also fail. The building will also fall down. Got it? last of all, giving it a final shape. It's just like a potter. Have you seen pottery? People doing pottery in melas and these handicraft museums. So they sit with a lot of wet mud and they keep giving it shape and they bring out different flower vase shapes. They bring out different artifacts. That's because you're giving it a shape. So to give a shape, you should be smart enough to understand. So now this is going to look like an article, or is it going to definitely look like the article which is written by me? So please remember, give it a good shape means not like molding a shape, but making the best out of all the thoughts in your mind and then writing the final draft. So in exam, of course, I wouldn't suggest that you, you know, kind of make rough drafts because you wouldn't have that much time. But later in life, whenever you are asked to do article writing, please make sure there are some rough drafts. On the basis of those rough drafts, you can start making the final draft. Okay. Is there any question till here, till steps of article writing? If there is any doubt, please ask me. I'm waiting to see your queries. All okay, Manish? Can we move on then? Nobody has written anything. I'm waiting to hear your queries, your answers, your suggestions. Okay, Ritu says all clear. Anybody else wants to say something? Okay, so let's move on. So please remember, keep this slide in mind when we move on. Okay, here are a few tips for good article writing. Okay, very importantly, give a title that catches the attention of the reader. So what we were discussing in the water shortage article, see, we were discussing that people are just using water, wasting water, no water, this water, that water, cold drink water, hot water, cold water. No, I don't want such topics. I will not read the article. I want a topic which is going to force the reader to read. Force the reader to read my article, which means it has to be catchy, it has to be gripping, it has to draw the attention of the reader and force him to read. That's one. Second point, the beginning is just the way you can master your writing. It's the most important because that's from where the whole story is starting. If you are able to sway your audience in the first 5 minutes, whether it is reading or writing, please make sure you've understood the logic behind how to communicate well. That's something really important. So, what I'm trying to say is if you have a striking opening sentence, which is like, wow, what has this writer written? I'm just amazed. Then that's considered to be a good beginning. So, beginnings always have to be very, very good. Third is I'm sorry, I'm not keeping well these days because of the cold. So, crystal clear. Okay. Lack of knowledge. Bharat, in that case, even I will not be able to help you because if you don't know anything about the topic, how will you write it? That's a very big question. Many people share that, what if we just don't know anything? If you just don't know anything, then just cook up something based on the article topic and start writing. Don't leave it unwritten. Hi, it's okay, Dimple. No worries. Even if you write basic English, no worries. Not a problem. Okay, so moving on to the tips now, please see. Third tip. What does the third tip say? I'm so sorry. Okay, the third tip says a strong argument for your ideas. supporting it with evidence. Now, evidence is very important. If you are making a remark about the statistics, if you are making a remark about the number, the percentage, then please give a proof. You can attach a bar graph, you can attach a Venn diagram, you can attach a pie chart, you can attach some statistical report, but there should be proof, because without proof, why will I choose to believe you? I will say, no, this is not correct. I want to read somebody else's article. But that doesn't happen. You have to be very sure that your arguments are strong enough to be accepted by the person, and hence the person will appreciate your article. Use linking devices. Now, these are very important in any style of writing. Whenever you want to connect two sentences, what generally children do is they kind of start making bullets, one, or they give me sentences like, the new year was good, full stop. In the new year, we went to Switzerland, full stop. In the Switzerland, we saw the Alps. On the Alps, we saw snow. Array, what kind of a writing is this? If you are actually writing, you should have some connectors. However, it was crowded, however, it was cold, however, it was hot. Although we were not ready for it, we could manage. Even though the person said it's not good, we barged in and wanted to have a look. Okay, so these are some linking devices which you should be using, and they are amazing when it comes to good writing. They come in very handy. Next is introduce a new point at the beginning of each paragraph that follows to strengthen your ideas. Now, in English, there are two things. One is strengthening the idea and one is weakening the idea. Strengthening the idea is basically you are supporting the author's viewpoint. Weakening the idea is you are showing me examples, which is bringing down or nullifying the actual conclusion given in the passage. So you are kind of weakening it. Okay, the next is develop your ideas as much as you can to make them interesting and substantial. Again, the same thing. The more the ideas are creative, the more interesting your content is. Conclude with your strongest points. So just save something for the conclusion. Don't make it very open-ended. Don't keep it very general. Introduction should be very specific. Conclusion should be very specific. And last but not the least, use passive voice, humor, emotive language, rhetorical questions, and provide a specific effect. So rhetorical questions means questions which have answers themselves. Like, don't students need to study a lot? The answer is yes, obviously students need to study a lot. Don't CA aspirants need to study a lot? Yes, they need to study a lot. I'm not giving you the year. I'm sorry, I'm not giving you the number of hours, because that becomes very subjective. Some people study for 2 hours and they get good marks. Some people study for 10 hours and they still don't get good marks, isn't it? So what I'm trying to say is, if you keep these basics in mind, the basic tips, I'll of course upload the PPT, but with these basics, you can get a fair enough idea about what exactly an article is. Emotive is language which brings out emotion. Okay, Tisha? Okay, so Dimple, I think I just now answered you. Writing basic is completely your choice. You can write very good English, you can write very basic English. Let the checker judge your paper and your writing. Okay? Okay. So thank you so much till here. I'll just change the slide and then we'll get going. Okay, so there are two practice questions here right in front of me. I suggest you do any one of them and read the two questions. I think it won't be very easy for you to write everything, but at least if you can give me bullets, I'll be happy, because I want to see at least one answer coming from all students, either one or two. Upload, I think you can check with the BOS people. Quickly read it. Quickly see the two questions. Read the two questions, please. So if this is your or question, either one or two, which ones will you do? One is about travel, the other is about life becoming fast paced. Life has become fast paced. We all are becoming overly dependent on search engines. What does that mean? See, here I've given you word limits also. The first one is 100 to 150 to 200 words. Second is 200 to 250 words. Both are very interesting topics. Please see, if given a choice, which one will you like to do as part of your exam paper? Okay, Manish says he'll go with the first one. Harshita says she'll go with the second one. Okay. Yes. Tisha, in this case, the title is given. Ruchika, I'll let you know where do we get the. You can check it on the YouTube channel and you can also check it on the website, on the portal of BOS. You will get to see my PPT. First one, okay, first one. Yes, you can write the same title, Meghna. You don't have to change the title. You can write the same title. Which class is Mohammed? Aziz, which one are you talking? My class was on 28th and my class is again today. Okay, Kevin also says first one. Aryan says first one. Bhumi says first one. Pramod says first one. Swati first. Second, okay. Aditya says first question is better to attempt. Travel broadens the mind. Yes, you can do that. So here in this case, if you don't want to give a title, you can use the same title as given in the question. That's also possible. So these are long questions. This is a problem here. You know, in long questions, they generally give you the title, so you don't have to think much. I mean, so it's not a problem. It's kind of good for you. So can you do me a favor now, all of you? Can you just write some bullet points? Because I know writing the whole passage writing the whole article in paragraphs will be a little difficult. Can you please write in bullets the content for whatever comes to your mind for either one or two? So, this is going to be a good practice for all of you. You have read some good articles, you must have seen the study material, you must have seen some old papers, you must be reading newspapers. Based on whatever your information is, please attempt to write only bullets for either one or two. Okay? Okay. Bharat, why is it so obviously second? That I did not get. He's saying obviously second. Why so? Okay, so Tanmeet is playing a game. She's saying I'm okay for both. So I'm just going to close my eyes, put a finger, and whichever one comes, I'll write on that. That's interesting, Tanmeet. Okay, quickly start thinking. So when you say the first one, for example, if it's about travel, travel is an important part of man's education. It enables a person to learn manners, customs, languages, history. So what is this emphasis on? It's the emphasis on learning a lot of new things when you travel. So when I'm traveling from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari or from Maharashtra to Arunachal Pradesh, I'm witnessing a cultural burst. I'm seeing like thousands of varieties of food, of languages, of dressing, of living style, of mannerisms, of jewelry. That is a cultural burst, not even a cultural boost. And this is what travel teaches me. But if I'm sitting in my house, like straight away sitting, watching Netflix or playing Free Fire, and not listening to parents, not meeting friends, only watching Netflix, only playing Free Fire or Clash of Clans, then I'm not learning anything. I don't get to see the other side of the world. I don't get to see how people are in the neighboring city because I'm confined to my own house and I feel this is the best world. It reminds me of that frog story. The frog was in a well, and for him, the well was the whole world, unless when he comes out and he realizes, oh my God, the world is so beautiful. Okay, so make sure you come out, you travel, you visit places, and you learn a lot when you are visiting. That is very, very important. Okay, got it? Okay. Yes, Bhumi, traveling helps you a lot to know about cultures. Okay, Aryan, well attempted. Okay, so Bharat wants to write on the gadget topic. Let me discuss that also. Life has become fast paced. We are all becoming overly dependent on search engines. Now, what happens is everybody is reading about search engines. So, when I say search engines, I specifically don't mean like only using Google. What I mean is we are actually dependent on these devices which are kind of ruling our world. So, more than we ruling them, they are ruling us. And they are like, sitting on our heads like a crown on our heads. Why? Because every time I see somebody with a gadget, I always feel, can't this work happen without a gadget? Like, earlier we used to remember phone numbers. We used to remember routes. Now for phone numbers, everything is just there in the mobile. I don't even remember half of the phone numbers of my relatives because I know it's there in the mobile. Similarly for maps, Google Maps, we all use GPS, but earlier we would all ask people on the highway, ask people, use our sixth sense and understand the directions of the road, and we would safely reach the destination. All that is now just gone away. This is like bygones be bygones. This is like old history, it appears, because nobody is not using gadgets. Everybody is dependent on gadgets for every little thing. That's what I feel is a problem. And hence, what should a life be without gadgets? That's what you are supposed to write. And I've specifically mentioned present day. Okay. I'm not talking about a futuristic world 500 years later, what happens in 2050 or 2080? No, I'm not concerned. In present day. Okay. Okay. Some people have started giving me answers. I'm reading them. We learn more when we travel. Traveling leads to learning practically. We learn a new language. Very good. Traveling relaxes our mind. Very good. Meghna. Pramod, you've written well, but you don't need to end it with travel the world is like go for getting more. That's not necessary. Travel the world is just like a general sentence that you should travel. It's not like a phrasal verb. It does not mean anything else. Okay. Dimple says travel helps build relationships outside the world. Well, that happens only in case of economics, when you are doing an import or an export. Otherwise, other relations at a personal level don't happen. Okay, good, Sarvesh. Very good answer. The digital world has made the thinking process of humans to slow down. Yes, because since we are not using our mental faculties, we are actually getting dependent on the gadget culture. Very good. Okay. So Tanmeet has written well, Ritu has written well, Sarvesh has written well, Lovepreet, good answers, Swati and Bhumi. Okay, good. Baba Sahib, I'm reading yours. And this reminds me of Baba Sahib Ambedkar. Are you somewhere related to Baba Sahib Ambedkar? Okay, so good answers coming. Thank you so much for all this. Now let's move on. I want to actually finish because there are a lot of practice questions. Okay, these are some more practice questions which we can do in the last 15 minutes remaining. What I'm asking you to do is just go through all the topics. You obviously can't write all of them. It's not easy. I know the space is limited. The mode of learning here is a little different. Had we been in a classroom, I could have asked you to come and speak also and then write also. So in this case, some of the topics I've given from economics, some are general, some are funny, some are social media. So you can read all the topics carefully. Okay. Kevin has written a long article. It's appearing to be long on the comment section, but thank you, Kevin, so much for giving me a good answer because I was just going through what you have written. It sounds perfect. Okay, good job, Kevin. Very well done. Anushka, you need to refine a little bit of English. Some words are here and there. Otherwise, the main story, the main content is fine. Okay? So, Ritu, you were saying gadgets are helpful because they make working fast. Okay. Okay. No, no, Kevin, but it's really well written article. See, after a bit of interaction, you very well get to know how much of interest the student has and how much of a good language the student has. So I can easily vouch for that you must be very good at language and communication. Most welcome. Okay, Harshita, that was good written. Okay, now let's continue with this, whatever is given here with more practice. So I've given you 5 topics. This is the last slide because there's nothing beyond that. I need you to practice here. So, you can, Manish, you can. So, for example, how important are marks in a student's life? So, of course, you're going to start with, let's say, give me some sunshine, give me some rain, give me another chance. I want to grow up once again. This is what a student says when he grows up, when he is outside school. You can start with something like this. Okay. Then you come to why is he saying this? Because when he was studying, then it was only about learning for marks. If you get a 99%, if you get a 98%, then it's good. But if you don't understand and you still get a 99, then what do you do? Okay, because not every time you understand and get a 99 or a 100. So the question says, I want to learn, but I want to learn in such a way that my learning is giving me good concepts I might not be getting good marks, but I'm at least getting good concepts. I can utilize these concepts of accounts and, let's say algebra and trigonometry. I know my sine thetas and cos thetas. Why? Because I've learned the concept. But this doesn't mean I can attempt all questions. Maybe I'm still slow. Maybe my marks are coming less. So the second question is, how important are marks in a student's life? That is the focus on marks. You can start with something funny. You can start with something generous. You can start with something very, very, you know, catchy. And then you can take forward the argument. Okay? Please read the other four topics also. If it's a newspaper article, you have to write your name. If it's just like write an article on so and so in 100 to 150 words, you don't have to write your name. Okay? Okay, so can you see all these five topics and tell me if you want to attempt any one of them in class just before we end, because then I'll get to see how is your writing, what is your writing style like. Maybe you can explain fifth, the hype created around Avengers. Okay, hype means a lot of talking, a lot of discussions, more than actually required. So when Avengers Endgame released, people were just going mad behind, oh my God, Avengers last movie, this, that, exorbitant price tickets priced. So that is like the hype is all the social media, all the brouhaha, all the now noise, all the discussions around Avengers. That is hype. Okay, Tisha, let me check. Marks only a specific aspect of education. Okay, good, that's fine. You can use that. Okay, Kevin says marks are only a pinch for a student because he invests his time in studies and not working. Well, to need to work, you need to study. So if you haven't crossed that benchmark of having attained a certain knowledge, how will you work? And at workplace also, there is so much tough competition. It's not that you are the only one working. So for that competition, what do you have to do? Your knowledge should be very sound. You should be knowing about everything. And for that reason, you have to study, isn't it? So it's like a vicious circle. Well, you guys are now on a different tangent. You are discussing marks are important or earning is important. Please don't change the topic. Come back to this. Superficial is something which is not real. It's just on the cover page of it. He appears to be very superficial means he doesn't talk in his real sense. He doesn't talk the way he is. He's pretending to be something. That is superficial. So please quickly tell me one article which you're writing and then your doubts, and then we probably can stop the session. The only thing I want you to understand is every topic demands something different. Every topic demands something unique. The word limit has to be followed. Read the topic three times, see what it is saying. Is it asking you to give me reasons? Is it asking you to justify? Is it asking you to just give your own value and additions? Is it asking you to actually sit down and make notes and solve a problem? So, what is the topic of the article and what is it asking you to do? In that sense, you have to attempt it when you are doing your mock test papers. Okay? Huh, yes, marks are important, but not the most important thing of students' life. Okay, Tanmeet. Mm, fourth, okay, survey says education trends in your country. Okay, so let's say, no, quotes are not important, Aditya. Quotes are just like add value to your contents. If you think there is a relevant quote, please feel free. If you don't think, then you can leave it. It's good to have quotes. It's just like recommended. Okay, I'm reading most of your articles. Don't worry. So is this much clear to you now? Clearly tell me, have you all got a feel of how to do article writing? If I see any one of you not having written a good article, I will give you a complete zero. Attempt writing. Remember those steps for article writing? We did this one. Why are you writing? For whom are you writing? Who is going to read your article? How much of information has to be gathered and arranged? Where do you have to arrange it? Does there need to be a rough draft before the final draft? Or maybe a rough draft is only bullets and the final draft is all article based? You have to decide all this. Okay? Educational trends in your country. Okay, Manish. Yes, of course. Like RP says, there is too much competition now. Of course, you have the other exams also, but with that too much competition, it becomes very difficult to compete because there is some kind of a lagging at your end. If the lagging gets removed, you just have to bridge the holes. If there are no holes, the bridge is very smooth. So you also have to do it the same way. Please read a lot, first of all. Forget about CBSE date sheets right now. Just concentrate on me. What I'm trying to say is you have to read a lot. After reading, you have to put the same thing back in the story form on a piece of paper. So from today onwards, whatever articles you will be reading, try and write a summary. That gives you a very good writing practice because you have understood the article and you have tried to gather the best out of it. Sometimes you also have to write a summary. Okay, I'll just share. Is this clear? Tell me, then I'll move on. Okay, everybody? Fine. So when I upload the PPTs, you can have a look at all the questions and then you can start writing on them. I'll just show you the chapter. Then you can go home. I'm sorry, you are at home. Then you can, whenever you are free, you can have a look at how exactly the chapter on articles looks like. This is chapter number 8, article writing. Just a second. Okay, can you see? So whatever practice questions are there in this chapter, please do them. So I'll take you to chapter page number 3. Okay, see here they have given you some nice sample articles. Remember, you will not be judged on the understanding of the articles. No questions will be asked. That is different. That is reading comprehension. Okay. So the color green, corporate conscience or fashion statement. The next is the health problems of tattoos. What if you get yourself pricked and engraved with a tattoo? It might cause health problems. That's the whole title topic on. And you can see the name is written on the right. That's also a possibility. Genius has gender not only in our minds. So this is like a sarcastic topic that, whoever is a genius has a gender, which means we always, at least for the Indian society, we always take that the male gender is more superior than the female, and hence the females are kind of suppressed and oppressed. So this is a pun intended there. Yes, so Karvesh has an answer. India is yes, it is a digital country with a lot of digital technology being involved. Dimple, is it okay to write that what you have written? marks are important, but students cannot score. The rest of you? Humans, sorry, okay, Disha. On the way of becoming less human. Very good. That's a very nice title. Good job, Disha. Really nice. I appreciate your answer. So I think if you go through these, this has a lot of articles. This is the study material basically, a number of articles. There are a lot of practice questions towards the end. Tips are there, instructions are there. So if you please see the slides and if you see the articles, you will understand that everything is interrelated. The only thing expected is bring out some good information, bring it out in a certain logical and consistent manner, use good choices of words, and make it a delicious dish that whoever eats it, in this case, it's not eating it, it's reading it, whoever reads it gets a very good feeling about the topic. Okay. So at that point, I think I would like to end here because I've done a lot of speaking today. I hope you have understood the article writing topic. I have discussed the steps and the ways to strengthen the argument. Please remember you are free to write down your queries. Thank you so much. You have been a wonderful class. Hope to see you soon in January for more such meaningful sessions. Till then, have a good day and wish you all and your family members a very, very happy new year. Thank you so much, guys.